Hope you had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. We did a lot of stuff this weekend, but I have to say, even though I was having a perfectly good time this weekend, at one point I wished I could come into work and go straight on in the air because Donald Trump, you know that guy? Okay. Our president, Donald Jumanji Trump, said something on Friday that might top all of the things he said. All the best words, stable genius, covfefe, all of them may pale in comparison to what he shared on Friday at the White House's Small Business Roundtable event.
We have a situation where we're looking very strongly at sinks and showers and other elements of bathrooms where you turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it, and you don't get any water. You turn on the faucet, you don't get any water. They take a shower and water comes dripping out, just dripping out, very quietly dripping out. People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
15 times? What are you eating? 15. The only time you flush a toilet 15 times is if the DEA is banging on your door and you have a kilo of cocaine up you. That's not normal. He instructed the head of the EPA to look into this. Can you imagine you're the head of the Environmental Protection Agency? You get a call from the president complaining about the water pressure in his toilet. This is like if he called the Department of Agriculture to have them replace a divot on his golf course. It's nuts. But apparently this is a big issue for anti-regulation conservatives, and Trump is embracing it. He even has a new campaign slogan, drain the toilet, which now that the swamp is empty, why not? You know, I think it's important for us to remember we may never see anything like this ever again. But the president spent much of the weekend, this weekend, draining his cell phone. He tweeted 105 times yesterday. That's more than he flushed this weekend, okay? He tweeted, he retweeted, and he retweeted himself. I almost feel bad for his supporters. They had to spend the whole day tapping like. And not only did he retweet, he retweeted this piece of work, this photograph of his head on Sylvester Stallone's body. Do you think he knows that isn't him? Do you think, like, maybe he's so out of it, he thinks he posed for this picture? Trump's week is off to a rocky start, too. There was more testimony in the House today as we heard from lawyers for the left and right who laid out their arguments for and against impeachment. The attorney for the Republicans, this guy, Steve Castor, he was the sad-looking gentleman from the hearings a couple weeks ago. He showed up. Is it a good sign when your lawyer's briefcase is a grocery sack? I was hoping it was full of, he had notebooks in there and a lot of incriminating kale chips, but Republicans tried to muck things up from the get-go today. They stopped the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, 1,000 times. The first time within seconds of his opening remarks.
The House Committee on the Judiciary will come to order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare recesses of the committee to...
I object.
Objection noted.
We're off to a flying stop. That's how the whole thing went. The Republicans, you know, they don't really have a defense, so the plan is to lay down as many speed bumps as possible. The strategy was to run out the clock with point of order after point of order.
A ruling on the point of order.
You made a ruling on the point of order.
You made a ruling on the point of order, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman from Georgia is ready.
Chairman, I have a point of order.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
Mr. Chairman, you have to recognize.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
Mr. Chairman, my point of order is this. In the previous point of order, you ruled against his point of order.
Will you let him finish his point of order, please?
Made his point of order.
My point of order is that you were out of order in your ruling.
Well, I made a point of order, and you won't rule on it.
I have not heard a point of order.
Chairman, point of
Gentleman
order.
has a point of order. State your point of order.
The point of order is this. That is a point of order.
That is not a point of order. That is not a point of order. The committee is in order.
Well, would you rule on my original point of order?
That is not a point of order.
It is a point of order. There's no rules.
It is not a point of order. 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 Point of order.
That's my point of order. He should not be up.
It's not a point of order.
This whole court is point of order. It was quite a day today, and with all this acrimony going back and forth between the parties, the White House has reported shockingly reached a deal with House Democrats. It has nothing to do with impeachment. That's happening. The deal is that Trump will get to create his Space Force, and in exchange, the Democrats get new parental leave benefits for federal workers. It's exciting. Now, federal employees will be able to spend 12 weeks with their newborn children before they are shot into outer space. Or I don't know how it works exactly, but this must have been a tough negotiation for Mike Pence, because on the one hand, he desperately wants to be our space commander, but on the other hand, he gets a panic attack anytime anyone mentions female reproduction. So, but it's a rare sign of cooperation between parties, and believe it or not, Donald Trump supports paid family leave. You know, he paid Marla and Ivana to leave the family. Meanwhile, the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has been prepping his own case in Ukraine. He's been there. Trump says that he plans to deliver a report based on new information he uncovered there last week. Giuliani has extensive ties to the region, both through his legal work and his extended family in nearby Transylvania. And now all they have to do is figure out how to ship his coffin home and look out. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Give back this holiday season. Buy my new book, The Serious Goose. I wrote it and drew it. All the money I make goes to children's hospitals across the country. And if you don't support that, you are a monster.